Hello. This Learn to Learn Study Coach video discusses the importance of reviewing your work. You definitely want to review anything you produce before you turn it in for a grade. You also, whenever possible, want to try to get someone else to review your products because it is extremely tough to just review your own work. You're just too close to it. Naturally, as humans, we try to make sense of the world around us. And here's a great example. What do you see when you look at this picture? I'll tell you what I see. I see two triangles. I see a triangle here, and I also see a triangle here. Maybe you see the same. But in reality, when you step back a little bit, there really is no triangles. There's no complete triangles here. Yet in my brain has tried to make sense of the world around me. Likewise, what do you see here? I'll tell you what I see. I see a bear hugging a tree. But in reality, all I really see are clues of a bear hugging a tree. Yet it makes sense to me that there's a bear hugging a tree. And how does these two pictures apply to reviewing your work and why you want someone else also to review it? Because when you produce something and now you are going to review it, proofread what you just did, it's tough to proofread your own stuff, which you should. You need to at least first do it. But what tends to happen sometimes is you're going to make sense of what you've just written. It'll make sense to you because naturally you just wrote it, and you might not be able to pick up on all the nuances and all the mistakes. Because as you read it, you will read it as you intended to write it, as opposed to what's actually there. So what you want to do, in that case, you want to put some space between the time that you wrote it and the time that you proofread it. Give yourself some time so it's not fresh right in your mind. What you would also like to do is give it to somebody else to proofread because they are not familiar with it. They don't know what you try to say, and so they will read it from a different perspective and most likely be able to catch some mistakes that you can't. Let's try this fun little exercise. Go ahead in a second here, pause this video and try to read this paragraph. Go ahead and pause. Alright, welcome back. Hopefully you took some time, you read the paragraph, and you might have been as surprised as I was when I first read it that I was actually able to read it. Most of the words are all misspelled. Yet, like we talked about in some of the previous slides, what we try to do as humans is make sense of the world around us. And we, even though all these misspellings, were able to read this fairly fluently because we made sense of this paragraph. Once again, this applies to us as folks who want to proofread our own material, because we will go ahead, just like we did with this paragraph, when we read the stuff that we wrote, when we proofread it, we will try to make sense. Our minds will naturally try to make sense of what we've written, and we might not be able to catch all the mistakes. And we see this happening in the real world all the time. I'm sure the people who actually spelled school here, they know how to spell school, but they didn't proofread it, or better yet, chances are they didn't have someone else proofread it. Likewise, same with the sign bump. We even see it in the sports world here. A professional baseball team, one of the players comes out with a misspelling on the name of the team. We see some more signs misspelled. And believe it or not, there was even a diploma given misspelled. The person who made this diploma, guarantee you they knew how to spell the word Virginia. Chances are the people who proofread the diplomas before they went to publish them knew how to spell the word Virginia. However, it's just so tough to proofread, and that's why you want to put some distance between when you proofread something or when you write something to when you proofread it, and you also want to get a second or third opinion. Here's a good tip. What you want to do after you finish writing something, go ahead, give yourself some of that distance, either by walking away, clearing your mind, exercising, doing something else, and if you can't have the luxury of re-engaging with it overnight or after a good night's sleep, go ahead, give yourself a good night's sleep, and then look at it. What a lot of teachers will tell their students too is this little saying here, 3 before me. And what they're telling their students is after they've written an essay, for example, have 3 people review it before that student turns it in to the teacher. Once again, you want to give some space between when something's written and when it is reviewed. And space, in this case, is you're giving yourself some space by giving it off to other people to review. Here's what others say. Have a trusted associate read your printed document carefully for errors. That's what BYU tells their students. And from this study website, it's twice as hard to detect mistakes in your own work as in someone else's. Get a second opinion. A fresh set of eyes may not only find errors but also have suggestions for improvement. Fresh set of eyes, that's where we're talking about getting some space. Professional editors proofread as many as 10 times. So we know if the professionals are proofreading something 10 times, and us as students, we definitely want to proofread. And then this one, publishing houses hire teams of readers to work in pairs. Reading out loud, and reading out loud is a great technique to proofread your stuff. And even so, with these professional publishing houses, they still have errors. Taking us to our tip. Tip, always review your work. And as we've seen, put some space between when you've written it to when you actually proofread it. And also, if you can solicit the help of others, that's even better. We hope the Study Coach video was beneficial, and please contact Learn to Learn if you have any questions, comments, or need additional information. Thank you.